How to prepare to be an ethical millionaire. My name is Paul Vasquez with Tax Lab, and you need to become an ethical millionaire. Well, why do you even need to bother to prepare to be an ethical millionaire? Well, if you're not prepared to be an ethical millionaire, then it's going to be hard for you to understand the steps it takes to get there and what to expect, how to begin to understand what your life is going to look like when you're an ethical millionaire. If you can't see the road ahead, how can you walk it? So, what's the path to being a millionaire? There are many paths to being a millionaire. There are fewer paths to being an ethical millionaire. Now, I'm going to peel back the curtain just a little bit. And I was talking with one of my millionaire clients that have over $1 million in assets. And unfortunately, they've had a little bit of lifestyle creep as they've gained their money. And so they have a certain standard of living. And they're actually doing fairly good about staying on budget. So they're not really spending more than what they're bringing in. However, they are spending pretty close to that. It makes it hard to save any more when you're already got healthy savings, have healthy income, and you've started spending up to that level. However, the problem is this, that oftentimes we're spending more than what our savings would allow for in retirement. So even if you're spending close to or slightly below your means, that doesn't mean that you've saved enough to have that same standard of living in retirement. So the goal isn't always just to make $40,000 in retirement. Sometimes you actually want to have at least the same standard of living as you have now, which may mean you need to have more than $1 million in assets. You need to be a multi-millionaire. But with something already saved, I was able to show this client that without even saving a penny more, we can help them get to retirement on the same standard of living. It comes down to the math, folks. It's just the math. You have to understand your numbers and then apply sound principles in our current economy with our current tax rules. Now, that might not be available to you if you haven't already got a little bit of a nest egg going. But for this client, we were able to show them how you could retire in the same standard of living as you are right now without even saving a penny more. On top of that, I had to reveal the infinite money hack. It exists. It exists, an ethical money hack that anybody can really apply if you have just a little bit in savings. I would say to begin to use this ethical money hack, you need to save at least $5,000. So you have to have at least $5,000, and then this hack can begin to open up to you. Now, it's not a instant infinite money hack. You do have to churn it and churn it and churn it, but each time you churn this system, more money spits out. So it's not going to be available for everybody if you haven't even got the basics down. You can take the Dave Ramsey approach of getting at least $1,000 into some type of emergency fund. You say 3 to 6 months of living expense, but you've got to have like the majority of the other things down for you to begin to apply this. So if you're not yet a millionaire, you can still apply this infinite money hack, but it's going to be hard for you if you struggle to have at least $5,000 liquid in savings. If you have to keep tapping into that, it's not going to work for you. So let's get the basics down. Keep tuning in to this channel so I can teach you some of the basics. But if you are ready to really apply smart, ethical principles and processes to your financial situation, Lab.tax, click on advisory services. We still have to lay some foundation work. There's no point in giving you tools you cannot apply. There is a road. There is a path to becoming an ethical millionaire. We help clients utilize those tools, follow that path. I want you on it. I wish you guys all the success.